It's trash day, I'm putting you out, it's trash day. Putting you out, it's trash day. Putting you out of my mind. It's trash day, I'm putting you out, it's trash day. I'm putting you out, trash day. I'm putting you out of my mind. Now I'm gonna clean up, now I'm gonna clean up, now I'm gonna clean up the house. I'm taking all your garbage, taking all your garbage, taking all your garbage.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Bullers, and I am the lyrical spokesman for the reigning, defending, undoubtedly best damn podcast out there. Because it's Can Crusher Day!
And welcome to Can Crushers, two everyday garbage men talk wrestling and drink beer. And I already have this podcast messed up because I have it recording in different places. So I have moved stuff around, extra editing today that the people won't see because I'm irresponsible, Paul.
That's okay, Mark. I just messed that up. I had a whole line to go and my brain went blank, and that's what we got.
It's because it's WrestleMania, and we know we have a ton to talk about WrestleMania-wise. We have...
Do you know what we don't have a ton to talk about? Raw and Smackdown, because they were both shit take-home shows.
They were, and I was really depressed about that.
But do you know what we do have to talk about?
JR signing with AEW.
How did you know? It's like you read my mind, or you wrote it down for me.
I have written nothing down while I caught myself. There's number one.
I have written nothing down.
3-year deal with AEW. The writing was on the wall. We knew it was going to happen once he left WWE. Most lucrative offer out there, they say. But they didn't tell how much.
I doubt it was very much.
It's just...
JR is JR.
It's elite. It was an elite contract.
Right.
So are we going to drink a beer to JR?
Yeah, Weyerbacher Merry Monks. 9.3% alcohol by volume.
Belgian style.
Yeah, there you go. What else you got for me, Mark?
That's it.
Yeah, this is a very plain Jane
there's no
label.
Nothing on it.
It doesn't even tell me where it was made.
No. Oh, Easton, Pennsylvania. So it's close.
Oh, okay, cool.
Weyerbacher.com. Check them out. It's bottles today, folks, because we don't have cans.
That's delightful.
That's fruity. I was not expecting that from the monks.
No, that's I was not expecting this at all.
It's Merry Monks. I wonder if this is a Christmas leftover.
I don't think so. It has nothing to do with Christmas on the
label. God, this is amazing.
It's actually a really good beer. I probably would drink 2 or 3 of these. Because they're 9.3, I don't know if I would drink 2 or 3.
Quickly.
Yeah.
We've done quick 9.3s before. And then the podcast went to hell.
Oh, what else is new? The podcast is hell. Always in hell.
The podcast is not hell. Did you see what's hanging up at Davis Arena?
Yes, I did see that. We got our own little, what is it called? Banner.
A banner, Paul.
There it is.
A banner. We have a banner hanging up in Davis Arena for OVW, so the partnership is for reals.
Legit.
Yeah.
Thank you, Al Snow.
And Chad Miller.
And
a huge thank you goes out to our boy, Brad Benizzuti.
Oh, yeah.
They got the whole damn thing going. So, all right. We're rolling right into Raw and Smackdown. And then, like I said, we have 3 interviews with myself and the other analysts that are going to do their picks. Folks, we have a 6-pack of beer. I almost said a case, but it should be a case of beer.
Yeah, a 6-pack of beer is probably enough.
For all of us, yeah. A 6-pack of beer on the line. Who gets the most right wins. Whoever loses the most, which will be me or Paul, will have to buy probably soup, a 6-pack of bear.
Right.
IRS.
And he went with just the prettiest trunks, so whatever.
He did go with the prettiest trunks. It's exactly what he says.
I almost figured that. Raw and SmackDown were horrible. There's nothing really that you could take home from it.
The big announcement was Steph said all titles are on the line, which it was kind of leaked earlier, but just to hear her say it.
But they're not, are they? Because I don't see the Raw
in the women's.
In the women's.
Yeah, both titles are on the line. So
winner take all.
Whoever wins.
And then they drew out a fight in the back between the 3, Ronda Rousey.
I thought that was great.
No, that was horrible. It was so drawn out. You wasted 20 minutes on that.
It was drawn out with them getting out of the ring area. But once they got in the back, I thought it was epic. Because after that, Raw just plummeted after that.
Raw plummeted during that. As soon as Rousey caught that knee from Charlotte Flair.
She didn't sell anything.
And then sat there and just drove away. Like, be slumped over. Pretend like you're hurt. But, God, horrible.
Yeah. I liked it. I thought it should have... If that's your main event for WrestleMania, I think that should have been the last thing to happen on Raw.
It should have been the last thing to happen on Tuesday night.
Well, even that, because the Raw main event was horrible. I actually went to sleep, and I still have not watched it, nor do I care to watch it. Rey Mysterio against Corbin, and Rey's actually hurt. So now they don't know if Rey is going to WrestleMania.
You know what that means.
You think?
Yeah. Who else would you get to fill his spot? He don't have a match.
Elias.
Elias is your musical guest. Your main event musical guest.
Yeah.
He's not your throw him in a match against Joe.
We'll get to that in a minute.
More of that in a minute. Okay, now Mark's got to go through his notes because we got to do it in order or else he loses his mind.
No. I was just going to say the whole legit huggers. I was just going to talk about the Bayley match next. The legit huggers match with Nat and Beth against the Samoans and the Iconics. It was a nice warm-up match for Beth. But after that, it did nothing.
Well, why would you give them the same people that they're going to fight at WrestleMania a warm-up match with? Warm up with somebody else.
Right. Why didn't Dana Brooke and, the women are crossing over now.
Right.
We've seen that. Why wasn't
They're
Mella?
unifying the titles.
Yeah, why wasn't Mella over or something? Just the legit huggers should not have been on the card, I think. That's just my...
It's the same thing that was happening before the McMahons came back and said, we're going to shake everything up. We're seeing the same people over and over again.
Yeah.
It's not any different.
No, it's not. It really has not changed much.
Throw in Ricochet and Aleister Black, though. That's about the only difference.
But I don't like them together. I really don't.
I mean, no. They're fun to watch.
Right.
But they'd be fun to battle each other.
Exactly.
And where's Johnny Gargano? Or Adam Cole, baby!
Well, Adam Cole, we're not going to talk about NXT because that would just be another hour that Paul doesn't have. Adam Cole's got 2 out of 3 falls against Gargano on Friday night.
So the loser probably comes up.
I would think. Well, Gargano is already up.
Right.
And he's got the title.
And then
well, he doesn't have
down.
the title.
No.
But they've pretty much almost handed it to him when Tomas went down.
Yeah.
But I don't think Adam Cole comes up. I think him and the Undisputed Era crush NXT again this year. We have a dog that is scared deathless in the studio today because the wind is going crazy. So he might howl or something once everything gets going, the wind again. Right now,
he's eating his tail.
Yeah, Mickey.
He's hungry.
Yeah, poor guy hasn't eaten. They're just continuing to squash the squad.
Yeah.
That 6-man match was
6-woman.
6-woman was ridiculous. It did nothing.
No.
It did nothing but just get that fight going backstage.
Right.
Because that whole thing that we just talked about happened after the match. Ronda didn't get tagged in until late. She got tagged in. She came in, grabbed an arm, boom, bang, boom, match over, and then she just started punching people.
She went right after Charlotte Flair.
Because the stipulation in the match was if anybody turns on anybody, you're not in the main event anymore. Which, that was cool, but you knew something was going to come from it.
Yeah, but not the week before WrestleMania. That should have been like 2 weeks ago.
Right. I agree. They're not building it up. The build up for this WrestleMania has been
all
lackluster.
On Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah, it has been lackluster.
Not on TV.
No, not at all. Other things that were out there, Braun fought a cameraman and a social media guy just to show that he can beat 2 people up, and he said that was Collin Jost and Michael Shea. The Glorious Guys against Heavy Machinery. Lacey Evans comes out. Great. Raw was just, I thought, besides the women's thing that you didn't like, I thought it sucked.
No, I thought both of the shows sucked.
All right, sucked. So we're going to transition over to SmackDown already. Start the show, KO is out with Randy and AJ sitting in the ring. And this was a great segment, I thought.
It was a very good interview, and it actually told a lot of the story. And you know what's sad about that? This is just a match.
Yeah. They could steal the show, though. They could steal the show.
It has all tools to steal the show. And now you have KO in the mix somehow.
Yeah.
Because why would he just have him on the KO show?
He just drops the mic after AJ says, hey, I was in the Indies making $50 a night or whatever amount he said. Well, you were failing drug tests. They're opening the door a little bit more. I mean, it's out there that we all can see it anyway, but they're opening the door, letting people say stuff like that. Because 10 years ago, that's not coming out of anybody's mouth.
Because they don't have shticks anymore. They don't have gimmicks. They don't have backstories. Now you just have wrestlers who are wrestlers. And everybody knows their backstory. So that's what they're going with.
AJ was left laying in the ring after an RKO.
Because he went for a phenomenal forearm and out of nowhere.
Ba-boom. 8-man match with Black and Ricochet and the Usos against the Bar, Shinsuke, and Rusev Day. No.
Rusev Day.
That was much better.
There you go. Oh, you were stealing my thunder for a minute.
Well, you know, you were looking at me like, get this over with.
I know. I'm just so blah about Raw and SmackDown anymore.
Next week's Raw and SmackDown will be great because it's all the call-ups and
Hopefully.
stuff. Hopefully.
But if they keep doing the same shit, then it's not gonna be great. We're gonna start covering indie stuff more.
I love it. Good. More OVW. We need to cover more OVW. A double super kick and the Usos team wins, and then Shane O'Mac comes out and says, hey, everybody you were just in the ring with, now you're going to defend the titles again. And again, why not have another team and have the Usos? I mean, all right. Bliss comes out, and actually it was Bliss that said that, not Shane O'Mac. Bliss comes out and talks Mania for a bit. Nothing great. The Iconic, same thing. Tuesday night was promo central.
Tuesday night is always promo central.
And that's why I'm always against people who are like, oh, the wrestling is so much better on SmackDown. Da, 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 da.
It is better on SmackDown because it tells more of a story because it's more promo-oriented.
But they don't have matches. They have more promos.
Well, they need more time.
Well, in October, it's leaked that it's going 3 hours on Fox.
Well, that's good. There we go. Now we have more time. And we're going to have to change Can Crusher Day.
We are going to have to. It's going to be like Saturday morning.
Yeah.
That's rough. Saturday morning after Friday night of Can Crushers Are Us. Hey. The Miz fights Sanity in a 3-on-1 and beats the snot out of them.
Buried Sanity.
Buried them. But what's going to happen at WrestleMania? Who knows? Corey Graves comes out, and I want to tell you one thing I got a text. That it was very nice of the DC police to bring Becky Lynch, sirens and everything on, from jail to Baltimore last night. They drove her right there. Because when she went to jail in D.C.
Well, yeah.
But the next SmackDown was in Baltimore.
Hey, listen, when you're the man, you get to have things done for you.
Cheryl said that, by the way. It takes somebody smart to think of that. It wasn't me. It wasn't the English professor. Nonetheless. I don't know, a 24-man mixed match challenge match. It started out as tag team. Everybody did some stuff. And then it went to break. And then it ended up being a battle royal. And
so you have a battle royal to
a mixed match battle royal, though.
You have a battle royal to amp up your battle royals.
Right.
Dumb.
Asuka wins it. Which means
she doesn't win
the women's.
Yeah.
Joe has a match against Ali, not Mustafa Ali.
No, it's just Ali.
Just Ali, and he chokes him out. That's it.
That was it. Quick.
Daniel and Rowan head to the ring for the contract signing. There's still going to be something to do with this whole Kofi contract signing. I think he gets screwed over during WrestleMania. I really do.
I didn't see it. I couldn't tell you.
He signed it, and that's pretty much how it ended. It was great.
No fight.
Yeah, there was some shoving and stuff, but nothing worthwhile. So, all right, on to my OVW report. and then we'll come back and have the English professor, and then we'll have all the interviews, and then Paul and I will come back and do...
We'll talk to you in about a half hour.
Our predictions. He'll talk to you in half an hour. I talk a hell of a lot. OVW 1024, it started with the recap of Colton Cage beating the snot out of Dustin Jackson last week. They just recapped all that. Then they had an update throughout the show. They broke it into pieces, but I'm just going to wrap it up right here for you. Dustin Jackson is wearing kind of a catcher's mask, goalie mask. He's got his head taped up, and the doctor comes in and says that he's broke his orbital bone in 11 places. He's bleeding from the brain and says that he probably should not wrestle anymore. Dustin says no matter what, he will get his hands on Colton Cage. So the show starts, and Al Snow comes out to make a big announcement, and he points to the new banner at Davis Arena, and it's a Can Crusher banner. Well, he doesn't do that. But what he does do is make the announcement that we made a couple weeks back about the OVW network. And now it's only $4.99. And he lists a ton of things that's going to be on it. Training sessions and interviews and the shows and the pay-per-views. Guys, it's $4.99. OVW Network. Look for it. Get it. I've tagged it on Facebook and everything. That's where you're going to be able to watch all these great OVW shows. Nonetheless, out comes Justin Smooth. He says, hey, I want to talk to you about the wrestling match I'm going to have with Tony Gunn. You got a paper champion, and so on and so forth. Gunn comes out and rifles right back and says, listen, punk, I've beaten some people, Sami Callihan, Abyss, I can beat you too. They get in a little bit of a scuffle, and Al says, whoa, this is not happening here. It's going to happen, this weekend at the Saturday night special. So they let Tony Gunn pick Justin Smooth's opponent for this week, and next week Smooth gets to pick the opponent for Tony Gunn. Colton Cage comes out and stops the interview again. Danny comes out as well. And Al gives Cage the bad microphone. He can't talk. Al says, hey, nobody wants to hear what you have to say anyway. He's like, if you don't get out of my arena, there's going to be repercussions. I'm going to beat your ass if you don't. So he is kind of not on suspension, but he's on watch because what he did to Dustin Jackson is way beyond what should happen in or out of the wrestling ring. It's time for the TV gauntlet, and it is Silo Jones versus KTD. KTD returns from an injury, and he's on fire. But Shiloh comes out rapping. He gets the win, and then he freestyles a little bit more. He wins with the Superman punch. Out comes his next opponent, J-Rock Daddy. We've seen him at IWC. I thought Dave Kinch was going to come out with him because that's his manager, special announcer. Nonetheless, J-Rock, a great add to this OVW roster. Great power by J-Rock Daddy, but the entourage is just too much, and Shiloh cheats by using the ropes, and Shiloh raps again. Chase Destiny's his next opponent. Big D, this one was quick. Big D did some more distracting. Chase got rolled up. Feet on the ropes by Shiloh for the win, and he raps again. Guys, I'm not going to rap like Shiloh did because it's amazing, but you need to go back and watch this because he's freestyling. Out comes Big Zoe, and you're thinking, wow, this is probably going to be it where Shiloh, the shit meets the road, or whatever that saying is, and nonetheless, a low blow behind the ref's back, and Shiloh raps some more. So I'm like, wow, Shiloh is going to run the gauntlet. Out comes Dimes. The entourage tries getting involved, but Dimes is ready for him. He hits Big D with the Changemaker. DL3 is in and out, just causing havoc, but he gets taken out. Shiloh hits the Changemaker from the second rope, Dimes, sorry, jeez, I'm excited. Dimes hits the Changemaker on Jones, to keep the title from the second rope. Out next is the women. It's time to see the women, and part of the It Girls, Valerie Verman, is going to take on Callie in a non-title match. Callie is impressive out of the gate. She's just great. She really is. Between her and Jay Lee, I posted it earlier. These guys are straight fire right now in OVW for the women. It's going to be a great match at the Saturday Night Special, and I really can't wait to see it. I really can't. Jay Lee's just been dastardly. But as Callie ascends the ropes, Jay Lee comes out, pushes her off. I don't know what the ref was doing. Nonetheless, Valerie picks up the non-title victory, so that should put her in line for a title match as well. But Jay Lee gets in the ring, gets a few kicks in as well, and they all leave. Sam Thompson comes out, and he pays his debt off. He comes up with $1,000. He gives it to last week's guest on Can Crusher Spotlight, Cash Flow, and Cash says it's not all about the money. It's that. You have to continue to prove yourself. But the chop shop is closed. He wants nothing to do with them. Sam pushes a little bit more. Flo's like, kid, you got nothing. I don't want anything from you. Sam says, I will put my career on the line. So he's going to put his career on the line April 6th at the Saturday Night Special, and we'll see what happens. Sam Thompson versus Cash Flow. If Sam gets hit by another one of those chops, it's going to split him in half. His chest looks like it's been run over by a tank. Cash is just unbelievable. And we're to our main event, last match of the night. Smooth comes out, and Tony Gunn follows. And he's like, all right, I've picked your opponent. And it's Ryan Howe, wrestling's rock star. Guys, if you don't know the backstory of this, Howe has defeated Smooth in the last year. He's beaten him. He's beaten him bad in the last year. But Smooth has grown. He has become a more established wrestler. He's got street justice now. He does the spine buster that's just as good as Arn Anderson's. I'm telling you. Then he hits him with it. He hits him with the spine buster. Then he gets Howell gets him in an arm lock. Smooth spins out of it. Street justice boot. 1, 2, 3. Match is over. And the show ends with another stare down between these two. Guys, this match on April 6th is going to tear down the arena. It's going to be unbelievable. Will Tony Gunn be able to stay away from street justice? Will Smooth be able to stay away from the kill shot? I don't know. I really don't know. It's unbelievable. Guys, make sure you keep watching OVW. Get on board with the OVW network, and we're going to take a quick break, and we'll talk with all the guys about their WrestleMania picks, but that's going to be after one of our favorite clothing place, Collar and Elbow.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
This Sunday, April 7th, WrestleMania 35 will originate from MetLife Stadium. The Can Crushers have friends who will attend this 35th installment of the Showcase of the Immortals. Perhaps I've not yet mentioned this on a Can Crushers broadcast, but I was at the first WrestleMania, which was held at Madison Square Garden. I saw a women's world championship match that day as Wendy Richter regained the belt from Leilani Kai. There were some nice takedowns and reversals of wrist locks and hammer locks between the ladies. Richter hit a version of an F5 in which he had Kai in a fireman's carry, but instead of dropping her upper body to the mat, Richter dropped Kai's lower body to the mat, so her fall resembled more of a powerbomb. There was even the body slam that starts from a vertical suplex position that all women wrestlers used in the 80s and that Mark hates so much. While those women went on just before Hulk Hogan and Mr. T, this year's WrestleMania truly will make history as, for the first time ever, a women's match will close the show. Becky Lynch, Rowdy Ronda Rousey, and Charlotte Flair will main event WrestleMania in a Raw and SmackDown women's title unification match. When referencing the first WrestleMania main event, Roddy Piper said, "The reason that main event worked so well is because everybody in it was the real deal." After a pause, Roddy concluded with a chuckle, "With the exception of Mr. T." In my opinion, holding true to that template from the original WrestleMania's main event, everyone in this year's main event is the real deal. Pause for effect. With the exception of Ronda Rousey. Nevertheless, I am glad to see the women get their just rewards. It's about time. After Richter's victory and second title reign, there wasn't much women's wrestling at WrestleMania for nearly 15 years. At WrestleMania 2, the fabulous Moolah defended the women's championship against Velvet McIntyre. In going back and watching some of her matches, I've become a big fan of McIntyre. Someone once hit her boots as a rib, so McIntyre became a barefoot wrestler from that point forward. I admire that spirit of making the best of a situation and not letting someone get the better of you. Years later, Moolah would call McIntyre the best women's wrestler from Canada. And yet Moolah versus McIntyre at WrestleMania 2 lasted barely 90 seconds. If you're heartbroken, rejoice, for YouTube has a match between them from June 1986, which showcases their talent. Moolah gets heat as she works a standing leg lock while pulling McIntyre's tights to try to get a pin. McIntyre steps up and reverses it into her own standing leg lock, gets kicked off into the ropes, and runs into Moolah's monkey flip. There's some great stiff brawling outside the ring, which culminates in Moolah doing the body slam that starts in the vertical suplex position that all women wrestlers did in the 80s that Mark hates so much, on the floor. McIntyre's selling after that body slam is must-see. In the end, Moolah hits a sunset flip where she bends McIntyre's knees and wraps up her legs completely. Aside from gimmick mixed tags, the next women's match at a WrestleMania was between champion Alundra Blaze and a beefed-up, somewhat gothic version of former champion Leilani Kai. But once again, the women were barely given 3 minutes to work their match. Kai hit a brutal headbutt, shoulder block, double choke slam, and the body slam that starts in a vertical suplex. You get the idea. All the while, Blaze used her speed and agility with a forward roll, Hurricane Rana, and multiple sunset flips in her best effort to avoid Kai's devastation. A belly-to-back suplex into a bridge got the win for the defending champion Blaze. Despite the lack of allotted time, the women had a good match and told a very good story. So it is with reason that I am excited yet cautious about this year's main event. I'll believe it when I see it, because at every turn the WWE has shown they will undercut the women's time slots to showcase just about anything else. In fairness, SD Jones and King Kong Bundy went 9 seconds at WrestleMania, but that was by design. Adorable Adrian Adonis and Uncle Elmer went 3 minutes at WrestleMania 2 because fans wanted to see the Hulkster get his revenge on King Kong Bundy in a cage. Owen Hart and Skinner went a minute and a half at WrestleMania 8 to warm up the crowd before Hulk Hogan versus Sid. Maybe Blaze and Kai were in a no-win situation because they were on a stacked card that featured Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels in a ladder match and Bret Hart versus Owen Hart. I get it. Fans want to get to the good stuff. But often, the women have been the good stuff. But despite the athleticism and storytelling talents displayed in the 80s and early 90s, Trish Stratus still played the part of Vince McMahon's bitch years later during the Attitude Era. Women performed in lingerie and mud wrestling matches. Just a few years ago, it took fans begging the WWE on Twitter to give the women more time to work, to which Vince tweeted, "We hear you." But have they heard us? Last year, the much-anticipated match between Asuka and Charlotte Flair was interrupted by the shenanigans of John Cena sitting ringside and having just gotten word that he would be wrestling The Undertaker. Why couldn't he have gotten that information during a men's match? And as late as this past Monday on Raw, Ronda, Charlotte, and Becky were involved in a story in which the three of them brawled, were arrested, smashed cars, and brawled some more. Why didn't this close out the show? No offense to Kurt Angle, but is his story with Baron Corbin hotter than the women's title match? Isn't the women's title match the main event after all? Wouldn't it have made more sense to close out the last Raw between WrestleMania with your hottest segment on the show involving WrestleMania's main event participants? Will the women be given their proper, uninterrupted amount of time to deliver a main event caliber performance? I hope so, but I have my doubts. And in this week's English Tip of the Week, we'll discuss when to use the verb to be and when it can be omitted. If you have a passive participle in a sentence that is a verb that ends in ed and can also act as an adjective, it needs to be preceded by to be. Notice I didn't say it needs preceded. I said it needs to be preceded. Let's use Ric Flair's tailor as an example. My suits need to be custom made by Michaels of Kansas City. Woo! Custom made is the passive participle. It indicates an ongoing or completed action and must be preceded by to be. Ric Flair would not say, my suits need custom made by Michaels of Kansas City. Woo! He would say the earlier version of the sentence. My suits need to be custom made by Michaels of Kansas City. Woo! Let's suppose Ric Flair has a suit, but he's been pumping iron to enhance a 100% certified beef products. You understand that, ladies? And the suit is getting a little tight. Would he say, my suit needs altered by Michaels of Kansas City? Or would he say, my suit needs to be altered by Michaels of Kansas City? The answer is B. My suit needs to be altered by Michaels of Kansas City. Woo! You can omit to be if the action is in the form of a gerund, a verb ending in ing. For example, the Nature Boy would say, my suit needs tailoring by Michaels of Kansas City. Woo! Notice the difference between tailored and tailoring. When the verb ends in ed, to be must precede it. When the verb ends in ing, to be must be omitted. And with that, class,
you're dismissed.
And it's WrestleMania prediction time here on Can Crushers. I'd like to welcome IRS to the show. Soup, how have you been?
I'm great, Mark. How you doing?
Excellent, excellent. So, big weekend for Wrestling, Soup, and
Hell yeah.
Hall of Fame, NXT, but we want to get the predictions in for all the Can Crushers and just let everybody know what we're thinking.
All right.
You're good with that?
Oh, I'm good. This is my Christmas. I love WrestleMania time.
Right. I'm sure you're going to watch NXT as well, right?
Yeah, I'm going to try because it got moved to Friday. Saturday used to work great, so hopefully Friday night I'll be able to still catch it.
And then the Hall of Fame, which is, to me, it's a little lackluster this year, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, it's cool, but I might pass. Out of the three things, I'll pass that probably most likely.
Exactly. All right, so let's jump right into predictions in no order. We will end with the main event, but just how we have them written down. The men's battle royal, who do you have?
I'm thinking with all this talk about Braun Strowman and those two jamokes from Saturday Night Live, you got to give it to Braun. He's been a big guy for him the last year and a half. They're screwing him in some storylines, but you got to give him something, you know.
Right.
So I'm going Braun. I say Braun.
Women's battle royal?
I like Sonya, but at the same time, after Asuka got screwed for that title from Charlotte, I think she's got some fire under her. I'm going Asuka.
So far, we're 1 for 2. I will not reveal mine until the end of the show. Buddy Murphy, who is a champion cruiserweight, against Tony Nese.
Nese is a big guy, but just Buddy Murphy, he's been running that division. I'm going to keep it on him. I think he looks good in that spot.
Okay. Still looking good. Kurt Angle against Baron Corbin, which we've complained about this match for weeks now, Soup, and It's a bad way for Kurt to go win or lose.
Yeah, that's why I think something's up. I don't hate Corbin as much as the WWE Universe does, but at the same time, just Kurt Angle, he's a well-known guy, Hall of Famer, big name. You're going to have him end with Corbin. I feel like something's up. But no matter who it is, whether it's Cena, whether it's, whoever else everybody's predicting, I think Angle is going to end it on the mat, shoulders down, and take the loss.
You're saying Kurt Angle is going to lose his last match ever?
Maybe not ever. They're saying this is a farewell, but, Shawn Michaels had that retirement match. He came back. Other different options are out there. But they always say in the business, you go out putting somebody else over. So I'm going Angle is losing.
Wow. Miz against Shane O'Mac, falls count anywhere.
I feel like this is the Miz's moment. He's finally going into a WrestleMania as a face, where every other year he's always a heel. I think he's going to come away, get the big win at MetLife.
Do you think Miz then gets into the title hunt, which he so well deserves?
I will get to that later, but possibly.
Oh. The women's tag team match. It's the Legit Huggers against the Iconics, against the Samoan Slaughterhouse, and against Beth and Natalie.
Yes. In that, I think Sasha and Bayley retain. It's still early for these titles. I think they should start out, give somebody a nice, decent-sized run, maybe have them drop it at SummerSlam, but I think the Boston Hug are going to retain here in this four-way match.
Nice. I will agree with you that one. That one is, everybody should know that's where I'm going with this one.
And those four-way tag team matches are always so, hokey stuff goes on, and 9 times out of 10, the champions end up retaining in fatal four-ways anyway, it seemed like. So yeah, I think the Boston Hug got this one.
Samoa Joe versus Ray Jr. for the U.S. title.
This is a match I like. I like seeing Ray back. I like they're giving him a good match here at Mania. But once again, I think it's early in Joe's run. I think Joe, I loved him ever since he's been in TNA. And he's a big dude. You got to give him some credibility, give him the win, let him have a nice run here with that U.S. belt.
Nice. Bob against Finn, or Demon Finn, or Finn Balor. Who do we have?
I would love to see the Demon. If Finn's the Demon, he gets the W. But this question is, how are they going to, normally it's like a big rivalry match. Him and Lashley have been going back and forth for a while now, dating back, all the way to before Royal Rumble or just shortly after it or something.
Correct.
If he's a Demon, Finn's going to win. And what better stage to bring the Demon out that he hasn't been around since, over a year?
Yeah, I was just going to say, he hasn't been out in a while, so this would make perfect sense.
Yeah, exactly. So I think I'm going to go Finn here. Demon or not, still I think Finn's going to get the crowd going, get a good pop, get that title back.
Triple H versus Batista, no holds barred, in the game's wrestling career, in-ring career is on the line.
I'm intrigued with this one, but I think the game's still got one more in them. I see Batista coming back for this one-off, but I think Triple H has got more wrestling in him. So I'm going Triple H here.
Who really wants to see Batista anyway?
Don't get me wrong. I liked Batista before, even when he came back the second time when he was Blue Tista. I loved it when they brought him back during Ric Flair's birthday. I thought that was great, dragging him out in the hallway. That was great coming back, but then they ruined it right away with the Spice Girls, give me what I want, what I really, really want. But,
Right. I actually love the Spice Girls, but that's a different story. AJ and Randy.
This is another one that intrigues me a lot. They're fighting over kind of like, who's the main guy on SmackDown and that. And, I think Randy's going to pull this one out. He hasn't been around, the main light for a while now. AJ, he's won his last couple WrestleMania matches, lost his very first one to Jericho. I think it's time for him to drop another one here and get Randy back on top.
Wow. Roman Reigns against Drew McIntyre.
I was torn on this one. I thought about it pretty long and hard. You know, it's nice to see Roman come back with all that happened with him, of course, to get that win. But at the same time, I think Drew's going to come out with the win here, and then he'll be thrusted into the Universal title spot.
Nice. Kofi against Daniel for the WWE title.
Now, I remember you or Paul said either last week or 2 weeks ago on the show that out of these 3 main event matches, there's no way all 3 are changing hands. I think this could be the one at Mania that does not change hands. You might see it the month after Kofi getting the win at Backlash or whatever they're going to call this pay-per-view after WrestleMania. But I think Daniel is going to retain and crush that crowd.
This is the one, I will leak this one as well. I have to believe you're 100% correct on that. Brock against Seth, the Universal title. Does it finally make it back on TV?
You got it. I'm saying, yeah. WWE, you got to get, don't get me wrong. I don't hate Paul as much, or Brock as much as you and Paul hate him. Sorry about that, big guy. But I don't hate Brock as much as you guys, but you got to get that belt there. Ever since it's come, 3-4 years now it's been around?
Yeah.
2.5 of those years, you don't see it except for once every 2 months. So I think you got to put it on Seth here. Plus, after his injury that ruined his last world title run, he's been back for two straight years now, working hard. I think he's going to burn it down, get that title.
He's actually the worker of Raw right now, if you want to say that. He really is.
And yeah, he's one of my favorites currently. So I'm going to go Seth.
And then the match of the night: Ronda Rousey against Charlotte Flair against Becky Lynch.
This is another one that had me torn, kind of like Drew and Roman. I think Ronda's dropping it. She had a good run. There's all this talk. She wants to start a family, blah, 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 all this stuff. So I think she's dropping it. So the question was, is it Becky or is it Charlotte? I'm going to say Becky. Give the crowd what they want, since according to me, I don't think they're going to give them to Kofi, so give them Becky.
So you don't think there's going to be an undisputed women's champion right now?
I was leaning that way, since Charlotte does have the SmackDown one. I feel like they might make it for both. Right. I think.
These are all recorded earlier in the week, folks, so just to let you know, more matches might be added, but we had to do it this way, so that's soups. But all right, let's get back to one thing. You said something about Miz maybe later. Tell me what you're thinking about Miz.
Okay, now with that, you said, is he going to get in the title hunt? That's another reason why I'm thinking Daniel's going to beat Kofi, and then we can all finally get that Miz versus Daniel WWE Championship match.
Nice.
That everybody thought would have been this year's WrestleMania when they were fighting back at SummerSlam in the Hell in a Cell with their wives. Everybody thought it was leading to this Mania being Miz and Daniel, but maybe it'll be later on here.
All right.
And vice versa too. Not Bryan being face and Miz being the heel. Vice versa. That could be interesting as well.
That is a good twist. That I will have to look into now, just moving forward. Soup, as always, it's awesome having you on the show, and we will catch you soon.
Sounds good, Mark. Let me just get my shtick in real quick. 2 quick things. 1, you got 2 weeks. Get your taxes done. April 15th is coming up. And 2, I see you're wearing your Tigers hoodies. They're playing my Yankees. Baseball season starting. English professor and me. Let's go Yankees.
This isn't even going to be a series, guys. It really isn't. Don't even think anything that the Tigers are coming after the Yankees. So, guys, minutes after this interview with Soup, he is our flip-flopper. He's going to change. He just says he's actually going to pick Lacey Evans now to win the Women's Battle Royal. Nonetheless, Soup, you're crazy. And we're back on Can Crushers with another analyst. Welcome to WrestleMania show, Noodle. How the hell have you been?
Noodle, I think that's the first time you've actually used my nickname on the Can Crushers. It's always just been Collin Maines, but Noodle is just fine. My friends call me Noodle, so that's all good.
So we're going to get your predictions since you've been on several shows from Asylum to this to that. We're going to get your predictions on the biggest night of the weekend, right?
Yes. For a wrestling fan, this weekend is Christmas.
For sure.
Literally.
I wish I was in New York. I looked at the roster earlier, or the schedule. There's about 100 indie shows also taking place from Thursday to Sunday of stuff just going on.
It's not just WWE around this time of year. Like, everyone really rolls out the bandwagon, like the big guns.
Yeah, they really do. So let's jump into predictions, and we're just going to go kind of backwards, leaving the main events until last. So who's your pick for the men's battle royal?
The men's battle royal. See, I'm gonna have to go with SNL's Colin Jost. No, I'm kidding. I'd say. Well, although I did think that was kind of cool that he's gonna be in it, but I'm just messing. I could see Braun winning just because he's still over. You know, I'm actually waiting for the day where, like, his, kind of face over kind of dies out, because I kind of want to see them to do more, but, like, I just see him as just the big man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless they do, like, another Cesaro thing where some underdog comes out of nowhere and flips him over the top, which I'd be all down for, but I'm going to go with Braun on that one.
Okay, and how about the women's then?
The women's, that's tough. Aren't there, like, returning women?
Yeah, Asuka's in it, Sonya Deville's in it, Mandy's in it. You got a pretty big lineup.
Isn't Beth Phoenix in it? I heard a rumor that she was.
No, she's actually going to be in the tag team match against the Legit Huggers.
Okay, so my facts are a little straight there. So the women's battle royal, I must admit, my knowledge dwindles a little bit, so I'm just going to go with Ahsoka on that one.
Okay, all right. How about the 205 Cruiserweight match, Buddy Murphy against Tony Nese?
I like Tony Nese. There's something about him that just, I really can't describe it. I just really like him. And honestly, it'd be something different. The Cruiserweight has always been great, but, like, especially in the last year or so, like last year or two, they've really come into their own. So I'd like to see Nese win.
They really have. You're dropping the ball if you don't watch 205 anymore. So next up, you have Kurt Angle against Baron Corbin.
I gotta go with Kurt Angle. Not only this is favoritism on my part. Angle was like one of my all-time favorites from the moment I started watching, and I want to see him go out on a high note. Now, like, I could easily see him putting over, the more younger guy who could be around more and everything like that. But personally, out of selfish reasons, I don't want to see that. I want Angle to win. It's true. It's damn true.
Miz against Shane, Falls Count Anywhere.
See, this one's tough because I don't really have a favorite, if you know what I mean.
You're right.
For this, yeah, like, I think everyone in the Can Crusher circle is kind of the same way, at least to my knowledge.
Yeah, we are.
But either one could win, and I wouldn't be upset. But I'll go with Shane O'Mac because I like Shane O'Mac just a little better. But that's also a testament to how good of a heel Miz has always really been. You know what I mean?
Touche. Okay, now you have the women's tag team match. You have the Legit Huggers against the Samoan Slaughterhouse, against the Iconics, against Beth Phoenix and Nat.
So this is where I got mixed up. I'm going to go with Beth Phoenix and Nat. And, partially, I've always loved Beth Phoenix. I remember when she debuted on Raw, and just, I remember the Raw where she returned and, like, threw Candice Michelle and broke her neck or whatever that was. Like, I would say. But I've always been a Beth Phoenix fan. I want her to win. And also, Nat, it's kind of a big weekend for her, too. Her dad being
inducted, yeah.
Inducted, which that's a whole nother, we haven't caught up in a while. That Hall of Fame class, that's another, sit down that we could have right there.
Yeah, that might actually be a special I'm going to try to put together for Saturday as well. So stop dropping all my secrets.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry. Anyway,
next up you have Samoa Joe versus Ray Jr. for the U.S. title.
I'm gonna go with Samoa Joe. I'd say I remember him in TNA. Actually, that was how I first saw him, was when him and Angle were feuding back in the Impact Zone. And I've always been a Samoa Joe fan. I'm happy to see him, I want to see him, main event more.
Right.
But I'd say I'm going to have to go with Joe.
So far, my picks have not been released yet. Mine will be the last ones released on the show, but we're trending. We're trending. Let me just say that. Next up, we have Bob against Finn Balor for the IC title. First question: do you see Demon Balor?
I see Demon Balor, but at the same time, Demon, Finn, Balor, whatever, I'm going to go with him because I'm not going to lie. I've met Bobby Lashley before and it was super cool and everything like that, but man, he will never be as big as he was back in 2007. Like, he really kind of killed his own mojo with that. But like, I'm one of the ones, like, I'm very nostalgic. I keep remembering how big he was, and now he's just, for the IC title, which is still really cool. But Finn, I'm gonna go with Finn because I hope Finn's in it for the long haul, and hopefully one day he'll be main eventing WrestleMania.
Agreed on that point. All right, now you have the no holds barred. If the Triple H loses, he is gone from wrestling action, not wrestling all around, just wrestling.
Yeah. There's my air quotes, like, gone. But
no, so Triple H against Batista, who's on Raw right now. That's all. I'm glad I'm missing that.
So yeah, actually, I just got home and didn't get a chance to turn on the TV yet. But so HHH and Batista, other than the IC match we just talked about, were two of my three picks. So this one, I knew back in SmackDown 1000, they were setting up something. Like, it was so clear. It could have like slapped you in the face, and you'd have to be blind, deaf, and dumb not to realize something's going on here. But this one's tough because I kind of want to see H take a little bit more of a back seat. I mean, I'll always love Triple H, and I'll always love Batista, but almost, I don't want to call it angry, but we've seen this match on WrestleMania before.
A couple times. Well, maybe not on WrestleMania, but we've seen this match.
Yeah, well, WrestleMania 21.
Right.
And, but yeah, no, and then all that entire year, 2005, we saw it. Honestly, I'm going to go with H on this one. I mean, I love Batista too, but Batista's going to go back to Hollywood. You know what I mean? He's making a killing with the Avenger movies. He'd be stupid to, financial wise, stay. And H is in it for the long haul.
Yeah, and Dave's promos have been horrendous.
Yeah, Pat Martucci and me were talking because we were talking about Batista. And he's like, I watched that promo where after he attacked Ric Flair, and I was like, yeah, what'd you think? He's like, he acts better in movies.
Touché, see? All right, AJ against Randy.
This is another one I kind of don't care about, but I care about. You know what I mean? I'm going to go with AJ just because ever since he debuted at the Royal Rumble a couple years ago, I've been a big fan of his WWE run. And I want to see that continue. Randy's had his day in the sun. You know what I mean?
Time to move along.
Yeah.
Roman against Drew McIntyre.
Now this one, a year ago, if you would have said, you would never have heard me utter what I'm about to say, I'm going to pick Roman Reigns.
What?
Well, yeah. Well, Like I'm being serious. Ever since, and I hate to say, hey, his illness was probably the best thing for him, but getting support behind him, like he's finally the face that they wanted him to be.
Right.
You know what I mean? All those years of us booing him and stuff like that. And I'm a huge sucker for a good comeback story. But
you really are. You're the movie buff.
Yeah. But I'll have to go with Roman on this one. But also at the same time, I like McIntyre. I like what he's doing, and I hope one day he might be a future pick of mine. But for now, I'll go with the big dog.
Okay, now we're into 3 main matches. We'll start with Daniel against Kofi for the WWE title.
This one's kind of cool. I would like to see Kofi. Do I actually think they might do it? I don't think so. I don't think they have the guts to pull that trigger. But the New Day has been so popular ever since they're, and Kofi's been around even longer than the New Day.
Right.
I think it would be really cool to see someone who's been with the company, so loyal to the company for so long, finally get his due. Kind of like what happened with Daniel Bryan, a couple years ago.
Right. I think this is a rehashed storyline all over again.
Yeah, I swear to God, if Michael Cole's screaming, like he was at WrestleMania 30, I'm gonna ask you to probably mute it. But
all right.
No, I'm gonna go with Kofi.
Brock against Seth Rollins for the Universal title.
Seth, I'd say that didn't take very long.
Nope. All right, moving along. And now you have the main event. It is been said that all titles are now on the line between Ronda, Becky, and Flair. Whoever leaves will have both titles. Who's your pick?
So, first of all, I want to say I think it was pretty ballsy on WWE's part. A good form ballsy to put a women's main event at WrestleMania. I mean, the women's evolution has made a huge step in the past year or two, but this is really this is like Trish and Lita main eventing Raw times a million.
Right.
And I've always been a huge Charlotte fan, but I'm not gonna lie, Becky is so over right now. She is the man. But
air quotes again.
Yeah, there it goes. But I'm sure everyone's going with Becky. I really want to go with Charlotte because I like her. I don't know why. I just kind of don't want Ronda to. It's not that I don't buy into her WWE stick. I do. I like that she's here. But I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to go with Becky on this one.
All right. That's Noodle's picks for WrestleMania. Noodle, it was great having you on the show. I will see you Sunday.
See you Sunday, my man.
And now it's time for the English professor's picks for WrestleMania. John, this is looking to be a great WrestleMania, don't you think?
I think it's going to be one of the better ones in a long time. Yeah, I agree with you.
All right, let's get your picks because we have a 6-pack going on this between all 5 of us, right?
Yeah. So someone's going to get some beer, someone's going to lose some beer.
And the guys in the middle just got nothing.
Yeah, they're just sort of along for the ride, I guess. They were involved in the first ever, whatever we're calling this thing.
Right.
Okay.
Beer payoff or something. I don't know, whatever.
All right.
Who do you got for the men's battle royal?
I don't know a whole lot of guys that are in it. I know that there's a beef between Braun and 2 guys from SNL. I think Braun wins.
Yeah, pretty much the par for Can Crushers. Yeah. Women's battle royal.
I was, and I'm going to stick with my pick. I'm sticking with Sonya Deville. I think she's ready for a push. I was so excited. I ran this past my son Sylvan, and he's like, "No, Mandy's probably going to turn on her during the battle royal. They're going to work together. Then she's going to dump her out." I'm like, "You little." He's probably right, but I'm sticking with my pick. I like Sonya Deville. I think it's time for her to get a push.
I would agree. Buddy Murphy against Tony Nese. Buddy Murphy is the Cruiserweight champion.
I predict a new champion. I'm not terribly familiar with. I used to watch 205 pretty closely, but we've had the discussion before. Just way too much ding-dang wrestling, so I haven't watched it in a while. Title changes at WrestleMania are nice, so I'm saying new champ.
Okay. Kurt Angle against Baron Corbin.
Kurt Angle. It's his swan song, so he wins.
In a Falls Count Anywhere, Shane versus The Miz.
Oh, wow. Shane. I think Shane wins.
So they could be fighting up by our friend Pat Lapino if it's Falls Count Anywhere.
They count anywhere. Yeah, they could get pinned in Pat's seat, I guess.
All right. The Women's Tag Team Championship between the Legit Huggers, Samoan Slaughterhouse, the Iconics, and Nat and Beth.
All signs have been pointing to new champions of some kind. I think signs have been pointing to heel champions, so that narrows it down. I'm going with Jackson Snuka.
Wow. Samoa Joe and his U.S. title against Ray Jr.
Samoa Joe retains. Samoa Joe hasn't had much of a U.S. title reign. He's done nothing but lose on TV since he won the belt. So he successfully defends.
I agree. Bobby Lashley versus Demon Finn Balor.
Demon Finn Balor will join Stone Cold Steve Austin and the Magnificent Morocco as Intercontinental Champions who have beaten the same champion twice. Wow, how's that for a stat?
That is great. That's what we have you here for.
Yep. Austin beat Owen twice, and Morocco beat Morales twice.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
You're pretty sure. That didn't help you out a lot, but that was pretty good.
Thanks.
Triple H versus Batista, no holds bar, and the Game's wrestling career is on the line.
Just like The Rock never beat Austin until he finally beat Austin, Triple H never beat Batista until he finally beat Batista. So I'm going with Triple H at WrestleMania.
AJ versus Randy in a landlord match or whatever they're calling it.
Yeah, whose house runs house? I think Randy Orton. I think it's going to be a pretty good match, but Randy Orton is devious. He'll find a way.
That takes care of our devious for the episode.
Yep.
Roman Reigns against Drew McIntyre.
Roman Reigns. The hero's going to win this one. He's about sick of getting jumped. I think he's just going to explode and really put a beat down on the Scottish psychopath. I don't think it slows his push at all, though, as like a monster heel.
You're the only one I'm going to ask this. Does Dean Ambrose get involved?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think so.
Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston, WWE title.
It's been a nice story, although an incomplete story, as we've discussed. Why does Mr. McMahon not want to give Kofi a chance? Why did he finally decide to give him a chance? Why was this the stipulation that finally got him his chance? Anyway, it's been a nice story, but it ends here. Daniel Bryan retains.
Brock versus Seth Rollins in the Universal Championship.
Man, am I going with my heart here? Am I going with my head? I would love to see Brock Lesnar just go away. I agree with Seth Rollins. No one likes you. No one wants you. I think Brock wins, though.
And for every women's championship WWE has, singles title.
Right.
Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, or Rousey.
Boy. So in the tag team division, they gave it to the most deserving, the most likely team, the team that had put in the most time, and they deserved it, right? They went with Sasha and Bayley. I think they're going to go with the tenured pedigree athlete. I think Charlotte wins them both.
And that leads to feuds for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
John?
Yeah.
Well, for a couple of them, I hope you owe me a six-pack, and we will talk to you real soon, buddy. Thanks.
All right, definitely. My pleasure, man.
Well, thank God you get to hear my voice because I bet you're tired of hearing Mark's voice.
No!
You probably miss me. I know you miss me. Mark, you ready to do WrestleMania, our little shtick?
Our shtick, and I went right down the line and then over, so everybody's picks, along with the other interviews that I had, are on the same basis, so everybody understands where the hell we're coming from.
Pre-show, Men's Battle Royal. Who you got, Marky?
I say it's not going to be Braun, Collin, or Michael. Somebody else, give me the field. Anybody. Anybody. I don't care. Gronk. I just don't think those three are going to be involved in the winning of it. everybody's going to get on Braun and win him. Maybe I'll put Almas down, and I don't care. But those three, they made too much of a big shtick about it that I think Almas is going to win. Actually, I just want the field, but he's not going to give me the field.
No, yeah, that's a cop-out. You have to pick somebody. Which is this is going to surprise you, but I think it's going to come down to Mojo and Gronk wins.
So you're saying Gronk is going to be here?
Gronk will be there.
And you think Mojo's done looking himself in the mirror?
I doubt it, but he probably will be.
Okay, this is where we lose the six-pack.
Right.
One of us.
I know, right?
Okay.
Women's Battle Royal.
Sonya, done.
Mark Scott, Sonya. Wow, that was quick.
Even though Sylvan said to the English professor he thinks Mandy's going to throw Sonya out and Mandy's going to win.
I'm gonna go with my boy there because Mandy's my girl.
Right? So Sylvan thinking about it.
Buddy Murphy, your 205 Live champion versus Tony Nese.
Buddy Murphy's had it for a long time. It would be great for him to get his WrestleMania moment, but I think we get a new champion and Buddy Murphy comes to the main roster.
Buddy Murphy stays champion, gets his WrestleMania moment, loses it on 205 on Wednesday.
Ooh.
Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin in your na-na-na-na, na-na-na-na, hey, goodbye match.
Are you really going to pick against Angle?
No, you can't pick against Angle. That'd be dumb.
Right? He's got to get 5 minutes, something. But I think something's going to happen in this match. Have it be Cena does pop out. Guys, Cena's in New York. He's going to be at WrestleMania.
No, he's got a contract. There is a WWE contract for him to be at WrestleMania.
Yeah, he's going to be there. I don't know, maybe afterwards he lays out Angle or something.
So this isn't his farewell. This isn't Angle's farewell.
I don't know. I can't see it ending like this. They've made too much glitz and glam about it for Kurt Angle.
Balls count anywhere. The Miz versus the greatest wrestler in the world, Shane McMahon.
And the guys could get pinned right up next to Pat Lapino because Pat's going to the show.
Oh, Pat will be up there in the nosebleeds.
And we're going to have him come on next week a little bit and talk about the experience that we didn't get to feel.
The WrestleMania experience.
Right. And I don't know. He'll be drunk the whole time, so.
I don't blame him. I'd be drunk. I'm kind of drunk now because this beer's wicked. Deliciously wicked.
I'm going to take the Miz to put everything of this behind him. Shane leaves again for a while, and then the Miz gets thrown finally into a title run.
I like that idea. I'm going to Miz too.
Okay.
Women's Tag Team Championship match.
That's the Iconics, the Samoan Slaughterhouse, Nat and Beth against the Legit Huggers. Legit Huggers, I think they're going to get this big one, and then they lose it Monday night.
Oh, wow. Do they lose the Beth and Nat on Monday?
No, they lose. I think they're going to lose to the Samoan Slaughterhouse.
I'm tired of Nia Jax and Tamina. Neither one of them are very good.
Nia I can deal with. Tamina is putrid. But I think the Legit Huggers get their moment.
Well, good. I'm glad they get a WrestleMania moment.
But I'm going to stick with the Legit Huggers. But if there's another team that I wouldn't mind winning it, it would be the Iconics.
I'm going Beth and Nat.
Nope. That's a stupid pick. Beth is a one-off match.
How do you know it's a one-off match?
It's a one-off match.
It's actually not a one-off match. She just had a match on Monday night.
Well,
That's 2 matches.
All right, dickbag. I meant a big pay-per-view thing. She's not going to stay around.
I think you're wrong. I think this is going to go a little further with those Samoan Slaughter sisters or whatever the hell they're called. Joe, your U.S. title champion versus Ray Jr. Card subject to change because Ray might be hurt.
If Ray stays in this match, I see his son punching him in the face or doing... They brought Dominic in for a reason.
Oh, Domino.
Wow. My dad said we're bad singers, by the way.
That's a lie.
On this, right? So Dominic's there for a reason. Somehow he's going to end up being Uncle Joe or something, and he's going to end up going with Joe. So Joe keeps his title. This feud isn't over. Even if Ray is hurt or something, somehow this match is going to happen.
I don't think this feud's over. I really don't care about this match, so I'm going with Joe. Bob versus Finn.
As the Demon.
Why do you got to ruin that?
They already said it.
I know. Why do they have to ruin that? Like, that should be...
Yeah, he should have came out WrestleMania and not said... He said it Monday night. You didn't see it.
No.
They said it Monday night that he's going to come out, and you can't go against a demon then.
No, he's never lost a match as a demon.
Right, and he's not going to lose against Bob.
No, not as a demon.
No.
The Jurassic Park match, no holds barred, game's career on the line, Triple H versus Batista. Give me what I want, Hunter. Give me what I want, Mark.
What do you want?
I don't... Neither one of this... None of this match to happen.
No. But... I will agree with the English professor. Triple H has never beaten Batista until Sunday. Triple H wins. He's not going to be done wrestling.
I wish.
You're going Batista?
I don't even care.
Why?
I don't even care. AJ versus Randy.
This match, as we said, could steal the show.
Yeah, this really does have the makings to be the best match. Well, no, because Daniel versus Kofi is...
High flying.
Will be fantastic.
It could be a spot fest, but this could be a technical match that could be great. Randy's been around. I don't know. I don't want to say I think he needs to be back in the title hunt because he doesn't. He's had the title for a trillion times.
Right.
I think this puts AJ over a little bit more, so AJ gets the win.
I got AJ with the win too, and for that exact reason, it puts him over more. Not that he needs to be over more because everybody loves him, but this helps along the way.
He is a face that can run the place on SmackDown. You know, barring whatever the hell happens in the next couple of weeks, with the shakeup is win, like 3 weeks after WrestleMania. It's not happening in Raw. They said it's going to be someplace in, I think, Montreal, actually, which would be fabulous. Another screw job waiting to happen. But nonetheless, in a couple of weeks it happens, and we'll see what happens. I said happens about 6 times in 30 seconds.
It happens. Roman versus Drew.
This match, I would say I don't care. But I do care about this match. Roman is not, get ready, folks, air quotes, healthy yet.
No.
Drew is going to be a champion by SummerSlam. Drew wins this match. Roman and Drew have a feud for a long time. Roman will take the title from Drew when it happens.
Yeah. I like that, Mark. Oh, Daniel Bryan versus Kofi.
I still think something funny is going to happen.
I don't think anything funny is going to happen with this match. I think it's going to be right down the line, actually.
You do?
Yes. I think the New Day is probably barred from ring, but what's his name is not. Rowan is not. But I don't think that matters. I think Kofi still gets the win.
But this is what I said. I said it, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I don't know how many weeks ago. Every title that we want to change hand is not going to change hand.
Right.
So this is the one that I think doesn't change hand. This is the one that, it's a great story. I'm echoing what the English professor said. It's a great story. Kofi is getting the shot. We all know where this should go with Kofi getting the win. It's needed. It's what we need. But this is the one that maybe you're right. He gets screwed over. He gets another shot on Tuesday, and he wins it then. Every title that we want to change hand is not going to happen. How many do we have changing hand already? You
have one.
Right.
No, you don't have any.
No, we have Finn one.
Oh, yeah, we both have Finn one.
And if the women's would change, all titles are not going to change hand.
You have Buddy Murphy.
As well.
Yeah, you have Buddy Murphy losing too.
So this one doesn't happen. Daniel wins.
Okay. Brock and Seth.
This one does happen.
This one doesn't happen.
You don't think this one happens?
No, this one doesn't happen.
Because we talked about it on the
back I hate Brock Lesnar, and I hate him as Universal Champ, but everybody hates that. And you've already... I mean, it's been gone for so long, does it even really matter?
Realistically, no.
And when Seth on Monday night...
After the nut shots.
After 2 nut shots, Renee Young, or, whatever announcer was in the back says...
It wasn't Renee.
You can't do that and win the title. And he says, I don't care. He deserved it.
He did deserve it.
Well, he does deserve it, but I think Seth just goes off, and that's like he's off the rocker, off his marker, Because we don't have a lunatic anymore. Seth Rollins is your new lunatic.
Yeah, speaking of which, after Monday night, everything I have read, Dean waved goodbye to the fans, blew them kisses, and kind of said, check it out, see ya. So
I don't blame him.
No.
He's out of contract. He's going to AE Dubs.
Yeah, once a 90-day comes up,
yeah,
I would imagine it's like Johnny Moxie or whatever his name is. That's kind of, I think that's what it was.
Johnny Moxie?
Yeah. No?
Oh, his old name.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, Seth wins.
We already got your...
Okay. And now for the women's title.
Your main event.
Right.
First time ever women's are going to have the main event at WrestleMania.
Now.
Did you know that?
No. Did you?
I'll say it about 10 more times because that's what they said all the last 2 months.
Did you know the English professor was at WrestleMania 1?
I did not know that.
He will tell you.
He will let us know?
He will.
I've never heard this story before.
Never.
I'm going to have to sit down and talk to him about it.
Oh, God. He'll gladly tell you where he was. He bought peanuts that day, too.
Peanuts?
Yeah.
Did he put them in his Coke?
No, that wasn't big back then.
Oh.
That's, by the way, I tried that. That's horrible.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, not at all. The new Coke I like, the orange vanilla. That's
Who
nice.
do you got? The man? Do you got Rousey or do you got Charlotte?
I don't have Rousey because during her sax playing,
They came out on April 1st.
Right. She was playing the sax. She says she's done. She's going to go be with the orchestra or whatever.
That came out on April 1st.
Nope. It's on the internet. You have to believe everything that's on the internet.
On April Fool's Day.
Oh, is that what you're getting at?
Yes.
I'm no fool. Nonetheless, she is not winning. I love Becky.
Who doesn't love Becky?
I don't know.
But if you're unifying both the women's Raw title and the women's SmackDown title, woo! There's got to be some prestige behind it.
You think? So you're saying since Jericho had prestige when he won it, the Unify for the first time?
Yes.
Not then. No, not then. He
Yes,
was
he did.
over.
Jericho was-
He was not as prestigious as Charlotte Flair is with the name and everything.
Who was he wrestling back then? I don't even remember.
I don't. Offhand, I don't either. And this is what'll bury us. But nonetheless, he wasn't.
Coming from WCW, he was the hottest thing coming from WCW.
I would disagree with that.
At that time. Coming to the Raw roster?
Eddie Benoit?
He was way hotter than them.
Not Eddie.
And he had better mic skills than all.
Well,
we're getting off.
I give you that. He did have better
Who do you
mic
got?
skills.
Charlotte or the man?
The man's walking out. They cannot do this for 6 months and not give it to her. The only thing, if any of this other stuff happens, that Brock keeps the title, I hope the fans shut the hell up during the women's match.
They won't.
So if they start booing and leaving and stuff, that's an asshole move.
If the match sucks, they're gonna. And Ronda Rousey can't
you knock her out early.
Can't carry it.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying you have to knock her out early.
And then we see nothing but Charlotte and
Becky
for the 50 millionth time as your WrestleMania main event.
Well, Ronda's still going to be involved here and there, but so you're going Flair. I'm going Man. So you and
I don't want to go Flair, but the writing's on the wall. They handed her a SmackDown title from Asuka.
That's all you got to say. Psh.
This WrestleMania is going to suck.
I'm going to sit back and take it all in.
I'm going to be a fan that day. For sure.
We should not take notes and just really...
I'm going to be excited for The Undertaker showing up because you know he'll be there.
No way. Nope, he's not.
Yeah, you don't miss WrestleMania.
He's not coming
Somehow, some way.
No, he's going to be the next crown jewel.
Maybe to pass the torch to Aleister Black.
I'm going to be excited to see...
Or he could bring back Bray Wyatt. That would be fantastic.
What I was going to say. I'm going to be excited to see Bray Wyatt come back.
I hope so.
Bray Wyatt, and you're going to get some NXT guys in the Battle Royal. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
You're going to see your boy.
Oh, no, wait. Did you mean, no, wait.
Yeah,
Jose.
too.
Wait. Jose. Or did you mean Cassius Ohno?
I meant both.
What about that other guy who kicks his flip-flops off when he gets into the ring?
Matt Riddle?
Yeah.
Do we see Lars Sullivan come out for the Battle Royal?
I hope not.
That would be a shitty way to bring him to the main roster.
What a sham. What a shambles he was.
If he's having issues doing a Raw show in front of 19,000 people, what the hell is he going to do in front of 80,000?
All of your big men, and then you bring up Lars Sullivan, and he wasn't ready.
No, he wasn't.
You shot yourself in the foot, WWE. What else?
Bang, bang, just like that.
Bang, bang.
Do we see any random superstars from the past come out? Do we get a Mick Foley sighting? Do we get a HBK?
Oh, yeah, you always get all that stuff.
Yeah. I'm just saying, predict some, this is just us. I didn't have this on the bet or anything. Do we see anybody? Do we see Hogan?
Of course you see Hogan, because he's introducing Brutus, the Barber Beefcake, into the Hall of Fame.
What do you think about the Hall of Fame? Real quick, as we have a couple minutes.
There's only one person, or there's, 2 singles people, and
a group and 2 tag teams.
So that would be 3 groups.
Well, a group is more than 2.
What? But they're saying the Hart Foundation is getting into it. Does that mean Owen and
they're
British
not going
Bulldog?
to definitely tag Owen yet. My God, no, they're saying Anvil and Brett.
But that's not the real Hart Foundation.
And they're not even saying Jimmy Hart.
The Hart Foundation was 4 of them.
Originally it was Jimmy Hart, Brett, and the Anvil. And then when you grew up and started watching wrestling, then you can throw in Owen and the Bulldog. Pillman was even in there a bit.
Yeah.
So Nat, Davey Boy Smith Jr.
Did you see the new Hart Foundation yet?
The ones that I just named?
They're indie guys.
No.
Oh,
Yeah?
you're not going to like that.
Why?
They're rough.
Rough and tough?
No.
Oh, the bad way.
They're rough.
Well, guys, there's a ton going on this week. Before we get to our ending shtick, Friday night is NXT TakeOver. Saturday night is the Hall of Fame. Sunday is WrestleMania. Monday, Tuesday, always great after WrestleMania. Friday, we have an interview with Jax Dane from OVW, and it goes a little bit off the wall. It really does. We get into some random stuff.
By the way, speaking of your superstar spotlights and how we've been doing this, I am challenging you to get the Can Crusher himself on.
I have already shot an invite over via Messenger already. I know who you're talking about.
Who am I talking about?
Duke the Dumpster Drove.
Of course I'm talking about Duke.
He has a YouTube podcast. So I figured if he's doing that, and I tell him our shtick, and I kind of already did, I haven't gotten anything back. This just happened yesterday. I just saw the YouTube thing.
Everybody that listens to our podcast, share us up. Hashtag Duke the Dumpster. Come on the Can Crusher show. We'll get him because of the Can Crusher Nation.
Fans. Can Crusher Nation.
Can Crusher Nation.
He is the OG Can Crusher.
We changed that, didn't we?
We were gonna, but you never came up with anything.
I thought we were like the Can Crusher Coliseum or something. Nope, that's where our tournaments take place. The Can Crusher Coliseum.
What the hell? When did this happen?
We talked about this a while ago.
I must have been on drugs yet.
What else is new?
Again that day.
Are we going right into garbage tip, or are you going to have a break first?
Oh, we're going to go right in because I don't have breaks set up.
Cue the music, Mark!
Garbage, 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 garbage.
Garbage tip of the week, right after we do our shtick. Pro Printing and Office, 814-834-3006.
Swanson's Auto Body and Customs, 814-389-2294.
Collar and Elbow, hats, hoodies, t-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, everything the wrestling business needs. Buy a wrestler.
Buy a wrestler. Holy shit.
For a wrestler, buy a wrestler. Type in OVW at your checkout for 10% off.
Facebook and Instagram at CanCrusher69.
Gmail, cancrusher69@gmail.com. Website, https:// cancrusher69.wixsite.com/cancrushers.
Alexa, Boxcast, Overcast, Bullhorn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Buzzsprout, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, and Spotify is where you can find us. Along with, on Thursday nights, you usually say this, that's why I stopped. You get our
I thought you had more to go.
Blog Talk Radio.
Blog Talk Radio is our Thursday night show from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. The number is 563-993464.
What is it?
That's 563-993464.
One more time.
563-999-3464. I lost a 9 somewhere.
Guys, call in.
563-999-3464. I just like to interrupt Mark.
Call in tomorrow night
So he
as
kinda
it's
killed my
all
shtick.
WrestleMania. We're going to go through this whole thing. We want your predictions. If you want to get on the bet, I don't know how you're going to get a six-pack to us because
You can pay Palace $11.
Yeah, you can PayPal us. That's a great idea. A lot of stuff coming up. We have a ton tagged on our website of where we're going to be. Announced it. I will be going to the Crockett Cup. I will be heading to OVW at the end of May. So there's travel in my near future.
IWC Night of Superstars 8, Meadville, PA, April 13th. That's Sting, Hardcore Holly, Hurricane, MVP, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Ho!
From the Ashes. It's a Sean Phoenix benefit. It's going to take place in Lamont Furnace on May 10th. And
All proceeds go to Sean.
for his medical expenses. And there's a new picture actually up that I have to change. I do all that today. It's got more wrestlers involved in it. A lot of people are signing up to help do this. Jinx, Andrew Palace, people from IWC, a crossover from Rise. So, yeah,
That's awesome.
it is.
Imagine Pro Wrestling Volume 2, Altoona, PA, May 18th. D'Lo Brown.
I'm excited to see him.
I'm pretty excited too. Do you have a garbage tip, Mark?
Nope.
I had a garbage tip and then I forgot it. Oh no, I got it again. Guess what I picked up today?
Poop.
No.
Oh,
Well, yeah, we picked up a lot of that because it's getting nice out.
season.
It's poop season. No, I picked up a box and guess what blew out of it?
poop.
No, the bottom. Mark.
Glass.
What is it with you and poop today?
I'm full of it.
No kidding. No, the bottom broke out because nobody taped it. They folded it and then they put a bunch of canned goods in it.
I was going to say, and I saw you as I was driving. What was in the bottom of it?
It was
full cans
of
soup and stuff.
Yeah. I was so mad I could have threw it through a window.
You were throwing them pretty hard in the back of the truck.
Well, I scared the other guy. We had a substitute
Otis.
today, and I scared him because I was pissed and throwing stuff.
But it was fun.
Always fun. Don't do that shit. Don't be an idiot. I'm sorry. We go through this stuff every week, and
It's still.
I act like everybody can hear us, but there's only a select few that listen to this podcast, and we love you.
Even in the morning, it's moist yet. Boxes get brittle and crappy.
Dewy.
Yeah. So they're going to fall apart. If you think it's great when you put it out at 8 o'clock at night, stuff happens overnight.
What?
What?
That's crazy. Remember, just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things, Mark. It's called a garbage can, not a garbage cannot.
Guys, enjoy wrestling this weekend. Be a freaking fan and enjoy it. Don't criticize everything.